Hey guys, so if you've already read the title of this video, you know what it's about. Honestly, I've been wanting to make a video like this for quite a while now. I had made a couple of videos earlier on, but I never was happy with them, and I wanted to be able to give it my all. I wanted to be able to be completely okay with showing this. At the time, I wasn't. So I'm making this video today in hopes that it actually sees YouTube. But first of all, I'm sorry if you can hear the rain. It's been storming really bad in Corpus the past day and a half. So yeah, also I wanted to be a little bit more dressed for this, but I actually had an allergic reaction to my antibiotics 6 days ago. So like, even wearing this amount of clothes and like makeup is like, so yeah. So if you've been reading my blog or watching my videos, you know I've been a little bit more open about this subject for over a year now, I think. But I thought I would go ahead and make a formal video about why I'm so open about my mental illness. So this is it. To give you a brief recap and to make sure this is not a 20-minute video, I was first diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety, and depression when I was 13. When I was 13, I had been wanting to go to my freshman year of high school for quite a while. I wasn't having it. I was getting emotionally and physically sick about having to go to school, and my parents couldn't figure out why. So they took me to a doctor. They had my thyroid test. They said that was the problem. And then when they couldn't really figure out why I was like this, he sent me to a therapist. So a therapist did a couple tests, and it came out to I had ADHD, anxiety, and a mild case of depression. That's basically it. I did a lot of sessions my freshman and sophomore year of high school. About halfway through my sophomore year of high school, they decided that it was enough. I was stable enough to kind of go to school. I was stable enough to not have to come to every other week sessions again. But they did say if you needed help, their door was always open. So I said, yay, woo, I can go to school and not feel weird. But I did feel weird. I was this kid who had anxiety and depression, and I was ashamed of it. So ashamed of the fact that I kept it hidden for 8.5 years. So when people would say I asked who I was on those Tuesday afternoons, I said doctor. Oh, the doctors. I was doing something else. Whatever. Any excuse I could come up with. I didn't want to tell anybody. It had gotten so bad that I avoided anything that had to do with public speaking, anything that was out of my comfort zone, anything. In fact, I gave up theater, which is something I'm passionate about. I am crap at acting, and I will admit that. I am crap at singing, anything, but I loved theater. I loved being a part of a theater production, anything, even if it was behind the scenes. That was a really big thing for me. I loved it. But because of how emotionally unprepared I was for anything, I decided not to do it. Another thing that it took me a while to realize that I avoided public speaking, and I got so sick when I had to be forced to public speak. In fact, one year in junior year of high school, I had to read out a essay for one of my science classes, and I got about 3 sentences in and started sobbing, and I had to run to the restroom because my chemistry teacher made me read it. Anyway, 8 years I hid it. I didn't want to talk about it, I didn't want to hear the words. I forgot that I had it, and it was just normal for me to act like this. And then junior year of college came, and I met people who I didn't know I needed in my life, basically. And I started watching YouTube again. I hadn't been watching it forever, but I started watching it, and I started following people and listening to people. And I came across Zoella, and as you know, she's very open about her own anxiety. And I was like, well, maybe I'm not alone. 2016, 2016 was kind of the year people started opening up a little bit more. It was still very much taboo to talk about mental illness, and it's still very much taboo to talk about mental illness, but people were talking about it. So junior year came and went. I met some of my best friends, and then senior year came. The summer before my senior year, I did open up and say, hey, I have anxiety and depression. I wrote about it on my blog. I spoke to it about my parents. It was a thing. I openly said, hey, I have a disease. This is it. And it was kind of scary, but also self-avoiding at the same time. I had spent so long being ashamed of this, being afraid of it, being afraid of what people would say to me, about what people would tell me, or they would judge me for it. But it got to the point that I basically said, fuck it. So I did, and I was morbid about it, and I decided that I was going to continue being open about it. I saw a play, and it moved me to tears, basically. This play, this theater production, was talking about mental illnesses, every single kind, and it was being done at a college. What? Like, this is a thing now. Like, people are speaking about it, and they're not afraid. And another tipping point was we had every senior at our cool university has to kind of do a senior seminar class, which basically means you spend an entire semester working on a project. And then you present this project. And so it was coming maybe midway through the semester, maybe a little bit past midway. We were doing rough drafts, and we did like peer review and all that. And I can't remember. Casey was my peer review partner because we had the exact same major. So we were peer review people, and our projects kind of coincided. And I was sitting there trying to review, and it'd been a rough morning, and every single thing was setting me off. And you have to love Casey, because she saw that I was breaking down horribly, and she asked our professor if I could step out because she could see it. I was about to come undone. And our professor said, he immediately jumped into action and said, okay, let's go outside, let's go. He took me outside, walked me away from everybody, said, what's wrong? And I just broke. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't breathe, like, everything. And he stood there 5 minutes trying to calm me down enough. And I think that's kind of the point. I was like, people, like, care. Like, this is a thing. And so he went back into class, got Casey, got our peer review sheets, and he set us outside of class in a quiet corner. We were able to peer review. And it changed my perspective of everything. So I signed up for counseling. I went to the exact same therapist I did when I was a kid and said, this is what happened. I need help. And I started having weekly sessions every week up until I graduated high school. And they helped a lot. Being able to sit and talk to someone helped. And then I mainly had sessions with a therapist who had like meditative mechanisms, and like we would have these sessions, and it would just kind of be calming, and was able to center me. But I'm kind of getting off track now, aren't I? The whole reason I'm open about this is because of all of these experiences rolled into one. When I first started this, I wanted people to have a place to turn to. I wanted people to come to, the channel, the blog, and be like, oh my god, like, this girl is like me, or I can, like, share how I'm a geek or something here, and it'd be okay. A place where people wouldn't be judged. And then I started talking about my mental illness. And I realized this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to be the voice that said, hey, you're not alone, and it's okay you feel like this. It's okay that you have anxiety, depression, PTSD, bipolar. and so many other things. It's okay, like, it's okay. So, I did. I opened up my blog and said, hey, this is what I'm going through, this is what I have. I opened up about what it's like living with anxiety and depression. I did a video on this channel for a project in my senior year in one of my classes about breaking the stigma that surrounds mental illness. And I fell in love. I want people to realize that we're in 2018 and people are still talking about mental illnesses like it is taboo, like it is something to not be talked about. Like, people are scared, and that's not okay. There are days when I don't want to get out of bed. There are days that I feel like the world is ending and I can't cope with it. There are days that I break horribly, and that's okay. It's fully okay to not be okay. And that took me a long time to realize. It took me 10 years to realize that it was okay to not be okay. And thankfully, I have friends. I have family members. I have people who I know online but have never met in real life that are okay with me being open about it, are okay if I need like an extra bit of love. I have people who, if I text them saying I'm not doing okay, or if I even like mention it in a weird way, or if I act a different way, people say, are you okay, like what do you need? And that's something that not a lot of people have. That's something that some people are still trying to gain. And with organizations like Young Minds and Heads Together and National Mental Health Alliance and all these other amazing organizations, To Write Love on Our Arms, people like me shouldn't have to be afraid. They shouldn't be ashamed. They shouldn't have to hide. And that's why I'm so open about mental illnesses on every aspect of my life, on my social media, on my blog, on my YouTube. I have no problem saying, hey, I have anxiety and depression. Y'all might get tired of hearing it. People might get tired of reading it, seeing it on my Instagram, but I'm not ashamed. And I don't want other people to be ashamed. And I think that's kind of where this whole project came from. So, yeah. So that was a lot of information packed into one, and I hope that it gives you an insight about why I'm so open about talking about my mental illnesses and mental health in general. Like, I can go on and on about it, and it would probably turn into a random video that made no sense, which is basically what this video is going to be. But yeah, if you want to talk more, leave a comment down below. If you want someone to listen to, leave a comment down below. I will list all the organizations I talked about, as well as some of the other ones, in the description box below. Click the thumbs up button if you liked it. If you didn't, that's fine. It's cool. If you want to be notified when I make and upload more videos, because I upload every Saturday, hit the red subscribe button and click the little bell notifications to let you know when I do upload. Until next time, hopefully I won't have this allergic reaction anymore.